All right, welcome. In the next few minutes, we're going to take a whirlwind journey from a simple idea sketched on a napkin all the way to a company that could, change the world. We're going to lay out the entire roadmap for building a startup. So let's just dive right in.
It's the question that keeps so many of us up at night, right? But that path from that first little spark of an idea to a real, living, breathing company, man, it can feel like you're navigating a maze in the dark. Well, today, we're handing you the flashlight and the map.
So, let's start with the basics. What actually makes a startup a startup? It's a word we throw around all the time, but what's the real difference between a startup and, say, your new neighborhood coffee shop? Turns out, it's a whole different ballgame.
Here's the best way to think about it. A startup isn't just a smaller version of a big company. It's more like a science experiment. You have a hypothesis, a big idea about solving a problem in a new way. And the whole point isn't just to be new, it's to be built for explosive growth and massive scale, right from day one.
This chart right here, it really gets to the core of it. A traditional business, that's like playing a game of chess. You know the rules, you're aiming for steady, predictable progress. A startup, you're exploring a completely uncharted island. You embrace the chaos, that high uncertainty, because that's where the truly game-changing ideas live. It is absolutely a high-risk, high-reward adventure.
Okay, so a startup is this high-speed rocket ship headed into the unknown. But who in their right mind is willing to get in the pilot seat? Well, that brings us to the founder, the person whose personality, whose DNA is going to be stamped all over this thing.
When you look at this list, you start to see a really interesting pattern. Sure, passion and vision, they get you off the starting line. But the magic, the real secret sauce, is that weird combination of persistence, being stubborn enough to run through a brick wall, and adaptability, being smart enough to realize there was a door 5 feet to your left. You have to be both at the exact same time.
And let's be honest, the biggest hurdle for anyone? It's fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking stupid, fear of the unknown. But here's the thing. You don't beat fear by pretending it's not there. You beat it by breaking it down. You name it. You reframe failure as just data. And then you take one tiny, concrete step. That action, that's the antidote to fear.
All right, so you've got the mindset, you're ready to face the fear. Now for the magic trick. How do you take a thought, just a little spark in your head, and pull a real, tangible product out of thin air? Let's talk about going from an idea to an MVP.
You know, great ideas rarely strike like a bolt of lightning. They come from a process. My favorite on this list? Listening to customer feedback. Seriously, if you want to find $1 million idea, go read the one-star reviews for a popular product in a category you care about. That is a goldmine of problems just waiting for you to solve them.
And this quote, oh man, this is for all the perfectionists out there. Perfectionism is where great ideas go to die. Your first version is not going to be perfect. It probably won't even be that good. But you know what it will be? It'll be real. And in the beginning, that's literally all that matters.
And that first kind of shitty but real version, it has a name. It's the minimum viable product, or MVP. Now, the key word here isn't product, it's viable. Is this idea even viable? Does anyone on planet Earth actually care about this? The MVP is just a tool to answer that one single question as fast as you can before you burn a ton of time and money.
Okay, so having an MVP is awesome. You've made something real, but a product is not a business, not yet. For that, you need a business model, a plan for how you're not just going to create value for customers, but also, how you're going to make money doing it.
And every single great business model starts in the exact same place, right inside your customer's head. You can't possibly solve their problem if you don't get their world. Things like empathy maps force you to go beyond just demographics and really ask, what does my customer secretly worry about? What do they think? What do they feel?
So you've got all these moving parts, right? Customers, costs, value, revenue. How in the world do you get all of that organized on a single page so you can actually see the whole picture at once?
You use this. It's called the Business Model Canvas, and it's basically a blueprint for your entire business on one sheet of paper. The right side is your front stage, everything the customer sees. The left side is the backstage, all the stuff you have to do to make the magic happen. And the bottom? That's the simple math. Do you make more money than you spend? It connects every single dot.
And now we come to maybe the most important, most crucial lesson in the entire startup world. What do you do when that beautiful, perfect plan you mapped out is just plain wrong?
You pivot. And I need you to hear this. A pivot is not a failure. It's a strategic, smart, data-driven course correction. Pivoting means you're learning, not losing. It means you're adapting to survive.
So how do you know when it's time to make a change? Oh, don't worry, the market will tell you. Loudly. Maybe your growth is flatlined. Or maybe your customers are using your product for something you never ever intended. The key is to check your ego at the door and listen to the data.
And if you need any proof that pivoting can be a superpower, just look at this list. Slack was born from the ashes of a failed video game. Instagram used to be a clunky check-in app nobody really liked. These billion-dollar companies exist today because they had the guts to admit their first idea was wrong.
So if you take away just one thing, let it be this. The founder's journey isn't a straight road on a map. It's more like a compass. It gives you a direction, but it's up to you to navigate all the experiments, the dead ends, and the incredible, surprising discoveries along the way.
So there you have it. You have the map, or the compass. You know the terrain, you know the tools you'll need, and you know it's going to be a challenge. The only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?